discuss about the maths paper 1, which is part 1. The other part we're gonna do it on a later stage. Or for your paper 1 question 1, please on your paper 1 question 1, please ensure that you get more marks there, and ensure that you go there knowing everything. Just know your algebra. We know algebraic expressions, addition and subtractions, multiplication and division, factorizing, notes on factorizing, know your quadratic equations, know your quadratic inequalities, the signs that you have to do on your quadratic inequalities. Search YouTube videos regarding your quadratic inequalities, and ensure that you know your simultaneous. Your simultaneous, that's where you should get more marks on. That's your 3 marks on your simultaneous. Your simultaneous, get more marks on it. So go check the simultaneous, the linear simultaneous, or you can even go back to the 2023 question paper to check for your simultaneous. Your simultaneous on a linear platter, and your simultaneous that is dividing, and how you can tackle that problem. And then you go and search for how to tackle questions regarding the nature of roots and everything. And then we're gonna move to your question 2, which is your number patterns. Ensure on your number patterns that you nail your number patterns. Know your 3 types of number patterns. We have 3 types of your number patterns. Always know that we have your arithmetic, your quadratic, and geometric number patterns. So on this question 2, the most important thing that you have to know and that you have to memorize with your heart on your paper 2, you have to expect your number patterns. And while on your number patterns, you should know your arithmetic sequences, your quadratic sequences, and your geometric sequences. And your arithmetic and geometric series, ensure that you know those type of things, and then you know the equations. And if you can't memorize the equation, go at the back of your question paper, take the equation as it is. Stop formulating things for yourself. Go at the back of your question paper, take the equation as it is, and then place it at your question. And then when it comes to functions, I think it's question 3 and question 4. Know what is a function, know the types of functions that we have, know the function notation. The most important thing, know the function notation, know the basic functions, the formulas, and the graphs. Memorize the graphs of your functions, everybody. Know your inverse functions, how you get your inverse functions. How you get your inverse functions. And the most important thing also, know how you get your logarithmic function. You get logarithmic function, always you're gonna get it at your exponential thing. Therefore, they're gonna give you your graph as an exponential equation, and therefore they're gonna make you formulate a logarithmic function. And when it comes to a logarithmic function, it always appears, it's always there. Ensure in everything in your power that you get that logarithmic function very well. Everybody, let's go. Logarithmic, we get that logarithmic. We always make sure that we get into the examination. When it comes to function, we get into the examination room knowing the exponential. We practice the exponential. I'm gonna link the study guide of your functions. Always know that you get into the examination room knowing your logarithmic, which logarithmic is going to be linked with your exponential graphs. I've recorded some of the questions on this live. So even if you missed question 1, question 2, and question 3, you can still catch up on the live after the live. And then we're gonna move to the finance, which is meaning that we're gonna move into your financial mathematics, which includes your financial growth and decays. The most important thing that you have to revise when it comes to this, when it comes to your finance, it's know your formulas for your simple and compound interest. Do not mix them. One thing that you have to do, always go back to your answer book. At the back of your answer book, every formula it is given to you. Every formula it is given to you. Do not come and memorize your own formula because you're gonna be wrong. Every formula it is given to you at the back of your question paper. Therefore, go at the back of your question paper, take that formula as it is, and then paste it into your answer just like that. Know your formula as of your simple and compound interest decays. Know how to calculate the value of P. Know how to calculate the value of P. Know how to calculate the value of I. And then know how to calculate the value of N, which means the value, your N is going to be your period. Which your N is going to be your period. And then know how to calculate your simple and compound decay. Know your simple and compound decays. Know your simple and compound decays. Ensure that finance, let's get those marks for finance. Know your nominal and effective interest rates. Know your nominal and effective interest rates. And one thing that I can say when it comes to finance, read your statement carefully. Read your statement carefully and ensure that you understand your statement before attempting your statement. First, when you get your question paper for your finance, when you get your statement, when you're reading your statement, underline those amounts. Okay, the first amount that I have is 25,000 rands. Okay, this is the amount that I got. Also circle your interest, and then go and look for, don't confuse them. First, analyze your question and ensure that you know what the question wants you to calculate. Read the question so that you understand what the question wants you to calculate. Know what your question wants you to calculate, and then know your investments with time and interest rate changes. Know your annuities, and then we're gonna be done with your finance growth and decays. And then when we move to calculus, know your average gradient. Know your average rate of change. Know your average rate of change. There are equations. Know the derivative of a function at the point. Know your derivatives. The most important thing, know your first derivative, and know your second derivative. Always get into the examination room knowing your first principle equation. We should get those marks for first principle. Know the types of equations that may arise for your first principle. Use the use of the derivative, the drawing of the graph of the cubic polygon. They're gonna give every time on your question paper. Every time they're gonna give you that square thing, which means that the cubic square on your derivative. They're gonna make you prove it. So always be on the look for that. Know your probability, which the last topic that we're going to talk about. Know your probability, your theorems, theoretical probability and relative frequencies, your Venn diagrams. Ensure that you master your Venn diagrams. Your mutually exclusive events. Know your mutually exclusive events and how you calculate your mutually exclusive events, your complementary events. Ensure that you know your complementary events, everybody. Your complementary events, your events which are not events that are not mutually exclusive. Ensure that you know them. The summary of symbols and sets used in probability. Yes. I'll ensure that I record this. Know your trade diagram and contingency tables. The counting principle on your probability. Your counting principle, it's always going to appear, everybody. I'm sorry, it's going to appear. So don't get into the examination room not knowing your counting principle. The use of counting principle in probability. Everybody, I think that's the conclusion of your paper one. But we're gonna do a nicer revision. We're gonna do a nicer revision for mathematics. we're gonna utilize this day and for part 2 where I arise these questions. Yes. I'm gonna utilize. Do you have classes for mathematics literacy? We're gonna utilize mathematics. I'm gonna come up with this. We're gonna use tomorrow for mathematics literacy and break down all your topics. Everybody doing mathematics literacy on the look. Come tomorrow. We're gonna do this. We were analyzing for pure maths today, and then everybody. I've recorded everything. So if you have missed this live, you can still catch up on it. Thank you, everybody. And then for mathematics literacy, let's catch up. Let's meet tomorrow. And then everybody practice. Every hour that you get, practice. Always ensure that you practice solve for X because you're gonna get marks there. Also your simultaneous. Ensure that you master your simultaneous. Please do mathematics at one time. I'm gonna communicate with you on my discussions, the times further for mathematics literacy. Everybody. And I just hope everybody practice. Even for mathematics literacy, let's practice those statements. Read your statements carefully because mathematics literacy is all about reading the statements. Everybody. Everybody. And then I will see you tomorrow. Keep on practicing. Every 1 hour that you get, practice that mathematics. Thank you.